August the 4th, 2012. The family leaves Reno and heads off to Lovango Cay. For those that don't know us, here are the cast of characters. The first order of business after you arrive is to get into island mode. And here they are, chatting with one of the 3 permanent Lovango residents, Phil Corker. He's also known as the Wayward Sailor. Phil's an ordained minister and will be marrying Billy and Corey on January the 1st, 2013. Another Lovango resident is Dan Boyd. We think of him as the Mayor of Lovango. In addition to taking care of the Love Shack, he runs charter cruises and dive adventures aboard his boat Seabiscuit. And he picks you up and delivers you back to your doorstep. Oh yes, there are a couple of other residents, Eeyore and Olive Oil. These are Dan's dogs and they love to come down and visit. Lovango doesn't have any grocery stores, but it does have a produce section. However, as you can see, it can be hard to get to, especially using Austin's technique. It looks like he may have more success this way. Well, he did get his coconut, and now Rachel is getting it ready for lunch. Unorthodox, but it worked. A much easier way to get your groceries is hop in the dinghy for a 10-minute run over to St. John. On the right is Red Hook on St. Thomas. In the centre are the Great and Little St. James Islands, and on the left the tiny dot is Dog Island. This is Cruz Bay. To the right of the yard is Canil Bay, and on the left are Hanley and Ramgoat Keys. Way in the distance are Trunk and Cinnamon Beaches. We don't get a lot of visitors on Lovango, but a regular drop-in is Spot the Pelican. There aren't any horse or dog racing tracks here, but Lovango does have its world famous crab races. Entrants come from all over just to compete in the qualifying heats. It's not just a matter of speed, these crabs have to make it through the rock to get to the final. In 2012, 12 super crabs qualified for the Lovango Grand National. This year's winner was Creepy Crawly, owned and trained by Rachel. However, she was so overcome by the win that Austin accepted the honours on her behalf. After that bit of excitement, let's do a bit of sightseeing. The populated area in the background is Caprita Point and Red Hook on St. Thomas. There are about 6 houses or cottages on Lovango that are used on occasion by their owners, and this is one of them. The house in the saddle above the Love Shack is Dan's place. And the one with the large balcony is Phil's house. This is the spectacular view from the centre of the island. It was a bit of a challenge for us to get here. We had to bushwhack through lots of prickly bushes and cacti. The Knoll is the highest point on the island, 255 foot above sea level. A less strenuous activity is taking a stroll along the beach to look for treasures. Pat's found a sea urchin.
He's got a very pretty shell. It's all colours. He's not doing very much now. He's either asleep or dead.
We're going to make another shopping run, this time to St. Thomas. Can you guess why we gave the boat the nickname Pump and Go? More about this in a minute. Okay, we're fully inflated and on our way. Well, we've had a shopping day on St. Thomas, Red Hook. Picked up some groceries and a few things for the wedding. Had a nice meal at, where was it?
Molly Malone.
Molly Malone's.
Molly Malone's right there.
Molly Malone's right over there somewhere. We're just leaving Red Hook, heading back to the big town.
You didn't have to stop it? I don't know.
He has no idea.
Do it again. The rain's coming. If you look real quick, you'll see our house, but it's disappearing. Disappearing in the rain. This is beautiful. You can't get better than this in the Caribbean.
Right, we're going to be pouring in a minute.
Oh.
It is pouring.
My apologies for that bit of theatrics. We did get caught in the squall, but made it home safely. Here's the story on the boat. Before we arrived, Alison, who lives with Phil, had a mishap with her boat and put a hole in the yellow banana. As you'll see, it's going to take more than a patch to get her afloat again.
The poor boat sank, sort of. They're pulling it in now so they can put a patch on his bottom and make him all better.
And now we have Ray Ray pumping up the yellow banana, or its new name is Pump and Go. There, come on Ray, keep going, it's coming up.
It's working!
The plan is to put a bladder in the aft compartment and have her seaworthy before the end of October. Besides going over to St. John for groceries, we went over there a couple of times to eat, and also rented a car one day and took a tour of the island. Here are a few shots we took while in Cruz Bay. This is looking back at Cruz Bay from the coastal road. We're now at Caneel Bay. You can just about make out the Love Shack across the Windward Passage. The two small islands are Manly and Ramgoat Keys. Pat and I have camped at Cinnamon Bay a number of times, and this was our favourite tent site. Little did we know in those days that we had a view of the Love Shack. The reason we kept returning to Cinnamon is because it has one of the best beaches in the Caribbean.
So I've got to turn around. You want my peach too? But mine goes into cinnamon big water like that. Mine still goes into cinnamon big water like that.
On our way back from St. John, it's Monday night, last Monday on the island. You may have noticed that our beaches are not quite like Cinnamon Bay's. What's interesting is that every time a tropical storm or hurricane comes through, it changes. Sometimes it's sandy and sometimes it's rocky. Well, it looks like a perfect day to get the kayaks out and explore some of the coast. But you should always be prepared for Mother Nature making a delivery of our water supply. Snorkeling in front of the Love Shack is fairly good, but much better on the eastern and western points of the island. We came across this queen conch a short distance from our jetty. They can live up to 40 years, reach a maximum length of 12 inches and weigh up to 5 pounds, so this one was definitely mature. Queen conch are prized for their edible meat and attractive shell, but we did the right thing and returned Corky the conch to his natural home.
I, the Duke of Manly, hereby declare that Corky the conch, reprieved of becoming a conch critter, and will spend the rest of his natural life roaming the seas of Lovango Cay.
Another day in paradise.
Happy birthday, Mom!
Look, way, bye.
We celebrated Pat's 77th birthday while we were on the island. From watching the last 11 minutes, one would get the impression that life on Lovango was either travelling back and forth to St. John or St. Thomas, or having to take part in some kind of activity. The truth is, it's all about relaxing. Relax on the cottage deck while having that morning cup of tea or coffee. Relax in the Love Shack veranda while reading a book. Relax on the beach while having an afternoon cocktail. And relax in the evening and watch the stars come out.